the back casts. That was a good one. That was like a topwater hit. Alright, so I just finished 2 days on a brand new lake. Never fished it before in my life. And this is why I wanted to make this video, because the Fluke, Super Fluke actually, is the size, made by Zoom. And this is a Z-Man 7-inch jerk shad. I like white. White is my favorite color. But when you're on a new lake, you need to find fish. You just want to catch fish. You're going to catch big ones eventually. Everybody catches big fish, you know, here and there. That's just kind of more of a luck thing. But if you want to catch numbers, you're struggling to catch fish, especially this time of year where they're spawning, some are post-spawn. You don't exactly know what the fish are doing. This is the lure you go to. It's weedless, for one, and it's a perfect mix of power and finesse. I'll show you that, guys, all throughout the video, and it's just the perfect balance. You can stop it, twitch it, rip it through. You can treat it like a topwater, especially the Z-Man with the Elastec. It really floats very well. It's almost like a weedless spook. The Super Fluke by Zoom is gets a little bit deeper depending on how you rig it. I can show you guys that right now. If you rig it with the hook on the flat side, coming out the flat side, it's going to go a little deeper. It's going to tend to dive down. If you flip that over, you have this rib side with the hook resting in, something like that, and you flip it that way, it's going to stay more on the top. That's good for the morning when you're ripping it across the top like that. Trying to imitate those bait fish that these bass are chasing, especially when the shad are spawning. If you have shad in your lake, the shad spawns on and you see them popping and blowing up on the surface, you can't beat a Fluke. Like, it is just a phenomenal lure. It catches an absolute ton of bass, all sizes. Upgrade to the big one if you want to try the big one. Zoom even makes a Magnum Fluke. It's huge. It looks very intimidating, but it's about the size of a normal deep diving jerkbait. And I don't know if you guys have seen my last video, but I caught a giant crappie on my last on a deep diving jerkbait, like 11-foot, 6-inch jerkbait or something like that. Big treble hook shining this, weedless, rips around. It's a phenomenal lure. I'm fishing a bigger one. This is 12-pound fluoro on a heavy rod because I'm pitching this up in heavy grass, heavier stuff like that. And with that bigger one, I want to be able to really rip it out there. It's a Lew's Pro SP. This reel is awesome. It's absolutely fantastic. And the smaller one, I'm fishing on a spinning rod. You can fish it on a bait caster if you want. Fish it on whatever you want, really. Any line. I've fished these up to 15-pound line. Does fine. This is 8-pound. Big key with 8-pound, as you'll see in the video, I break off a couple times. What you're going to want to do is retie after you catch fish. You're going to catch fish if you fish this lure. And then once you catch 3, 4, maybe 5 fish, especially on lighter line, you're going to want to retie it because you'll break off. Even on small bass. I caught a lot of small bass the last 2 days and they were still breaking me off because I neglected to retie. All you got to do. But if you want to bump it up to 10, 12, 15, you can fish it all the way up to 20, especially if you're in some thicker grass. You can go up to 20-pound line. But if you haven't tried the Fluke, I super suggest it. My color is white. That is my absolute go-to. I like the watermelon. That works pretty good. I used this in the video. I tried a Super Gill. It didn't work so well. A darker color. I don't know what it is. I think the white is just the way to go. Like, if you have to start and I can pick only one color and you're starting out fishing a Fluke, go with the white one. Can't beat it. White, there's a shiny white, it's called like a pearl or something, but I really like the all white one. That's my favorite. You can see it from a mile away. You can almost sight fish. You see your bites, you can't miss them. It's just a phenomenal lure, and I really hope after watching this video you guys are willing to give it a try. It just works. It works. It catches an absolute ton of fish. You can have a ball, and especially, like I said, on a lake you've never even been to. I've caught so many fish the last 2 days, and I've pretty much, I brought a chatterbait and a swim bait, a little Kitech today. Didn't even pick them up because I was catching so many fish on these lures. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So enjoy the video, try a Fluke, and if this video doesn't prove it to you, just try one on a whim. Just go for it. Super easy lure to fish, and you're gonna catch a ton. We got one on the big guy. Our first fish. And that is bigger than anything I caught yesterday. By a little bit at least. On the big old jerk shad. That proves that little guys will hit it too right there. Nice. Another little one. Look at the size. That lure is almost as long as him. You still came and got it. Still in 17 feet. That's just a major, major drop off. Got him. Another little bass. Still a keeper in my tournaments though. Our limit size is 8 inches. I guess we're at about 9. Who's coming for it? Oh, that's the nice thing about fishing this right on the top. You can see them wake a lot of the time. You know right when you're gonna get bit. I probably ripped it right out of that guy's mouth. He came back for it and broke me off. Ah, should have retied. Dang it. Oh, you can let that right there be a lesson. Always retie. I always forget. I start having too much fun just catching them. Don't be afraid to retie, especially if you're using lighter line. This is 8-pound. And I always forget because I usually fish heavier, but I haven't switched my line since St. Clair. I've just been rocking it with this 8-pound. There's one big difference between the Zoom and that Elastec Z-Man I'm throwing. You can see this bait. Watch it sink. Goes down, shimmers down just like a Senko. So you can drop it and get it deeper. This one is almost, it's like fishing a spook kinda. It'll float right on top and you really got to keep it darting to get that underwater action. If you have the ability to use electronics, what you're looking for with FLUKE is a lot of grass. You can see right here, the right side and left, you do not have a lot of grass. Look on the down imaging there, it's just bare bottom. So we're cruising around looking for some grass right now. If I find grass on either side, I'll fish both those spots. That's where fish are going to hold up after they spawn. Some are going to go deep. They're going to be on offshore structure, which where I'm from is pretty much grass, and shallow, which is a lot of grass. So if you can find grass, you can usually find some fish. And right now I'm not seeing, I mean, docks will still hold fish in areas like this, so you can always just fish docks too if you're in an area like this. But I am not seeing a ton of grass on either side right now. Like I said, we're in 26 feet of water, even though we're this close to shore, so steep drop off. And yep, we're just going to keep cruising until we find some grass and go ahead and fish it. See, there's a little bit on the left side there, the side imaging. It's got grass up on these docks. Yeah, you want a big, nice, grassy area. Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of grass here on the left. This would not be a bad place to cast. We're coming up shallow. We're coming up on a point. 15, 14, 13. A lot of grass on the left. Right on the bottom. And that's what you're looking for. See, now you can really see it on the bottom. Left side, down imaging has a bunch of grass. Got grass out to the right now. And that's what you want to find. These super grassy areas. There it is. Find the grass, find the fish. That's what we're talking about. That's a hungry little guy. Probably the same fish that bit me the other 2 times. Decent little fella. Not a total dink. That's where electronics can really come into play. You can't see it looking down. We're in 8 feet of water. Oh my God, that just got really blown up on. Like a topwater hit. Got him. Came back for it. That's a better one too. That's the best one yet. He's 13, 14 inches. Sounds a little chunky fella. Came back aggressive for it on the top. That's one thing I've noticed about this lure too, is that Elastec is phenomenal. This bait is not tore up. I've caught 3 fish on it, I think, 3 or 4. It doesn't rip apart like the Zooms. The Zooms, you only get a couple fish and you really got to switch lures. Man, is that fun. It's like it's literally like fishing a spook. But it has the ability to get down too, and it's weedless. Spook is not weedless. There's another one. Back to back, this is a real good one. That's a long fella there. Now we're getting into some fish. Big old grass. You can see the grass here. You guys should be able to see that. Not a real good one, but for what we've been catching today, real good one. And yesterday was an absolute dink fest. Another one out of there, first cast and a little fella. Definitely finding some bigger fish over here. Nothing giant yet, but not complete dinks. This is another thing you gotta be aware of. Sometimes it'll ride up the line, almost like a Senko does. Just gotta be patient with it so you don't get it really tangled. Just like that. We hit the cruise a bit. Found some more grass. Let me try this area. Didn't see that guy catch anything that just came through here, so. Well, there's one right there. Power of the fluke. We just saw that other guy come through here. He was flipping a Texas rig. Looked like his wife, girlfriend, whoever was with him, was throwing a Senko. The power of the fluke. It gets a bite. I watched them the whole time as I was waiting for them to leave this area. I did not catch a single fish. Might not just cast in the right area. Might, you know, luck could be involved, but the fluke He just gets it done. It's a really, really hard lure to beat. The action, the fish are aggressive. And when they're not aggressive, it's the mix of power and finesse that makes this bait so phenomenal. You cannot overstate how good of a lure this is. Try to get another one. That one came, I got it. That's a better fish. Choked. That lure is gone. He got it good. He bent the hook on it, it looks like. I hope it just looked like that the way my lure was all jacked up. There's another. Still pounding. That's gonna do it for the fluke video. Hope you guys enjoyed the ride, catching a ton of fish on this lure. The big one surprised me. I can't wait to try the caffeine shad. Like I said, this is not gonna be my last fluke video. That's all I fish in tournaments. It just works. It catches an absolute ton of fish. So if you haven't tried it, go out and try it, especially around grass. If you're on like a big highland reservoir or something, you know, down south, and it might not work so good. But if you're in a natural northern grassy lake, any kind of natural lake with a ton of grass, it's really hard to beat it. It's weedless. It just, like I said, it's the best combination of power and finesse and finding fish. You can cover a ton of water with it. Go for the fluke. Really cannot go wrong with this lure. So once again, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys at the next tournament. That's about a week from now on this exact lake. Hopefully we can smack them, find some bigger fish maybe. Grab some different colors of these, some other big guys, some different brands, and we'll go for it. Catch you guys next time.